Hello, everybody. It's June the 5th, 2026, and this is episode number 97. Coming to you from Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is Into the Fire, and tonight's guest is a really special guest that I've been trying to get him on here for a long time, and his name is Philip Miller. He is a death investigator extraordinaire / pioneer in the world of drone technology in the medical examiner world, or coroner world for that matter. The first program, and possibly the only program that exists throughout this country. And so it's going to be a lot of fun talking to him about that. And we're also going to talk a little bit about his experience, how he got involved in this career, et cetera. And I think that's going to be fun, and it's going to be interesting to hear about that, because people are fascinated with death. And I am too. And so I don't know, he sees a lot more of it than I ever did. So it's going to be a lot of fun speaking to him. Hopefully everybody's had a good week, and hopefully everybody enjoyed that last week, that last episode that we had last Friday. I want to thank everybody that came in here for the episode. I mean, what a turnout. It was awesome. I know that we had well over 1,000 people that have seen it, or had seen it within the first couple of days of it airing. And I appreciate that. It means a lot. And I loved seeing everybody in here. So welcome everybody that's in the room tonight. And I just want to tell you, thank you. It means the world to me, and it means the world to the guest as well, to have people in here and so forth. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them out, and I'll be in the chat room probably to answer some of those. And so, but that's that. And hopefully everybody had a great week, and hopefully I did too. This is going to be, I will have completed my 4th week of patrol. And so, I'm having just a blast out there. It's pretty laid back, to tell you the truth. I'm not going to make it out to be it's something that's more than it's not. It's pretty chill being in a police car, at least for the most part. And the part of the city that I'm working in, which is Southeast Tulsa, is pretty tame. And you don't find many tags that are expired and stuff like that. Most people that are down this way are out working, and they're doing their thing. And so this guest, Philip Miller, he's a seasoned medical legal death investigator with 19 years of experience in the medical examiner field of forensics. You just don't run across that very often. I think there's a considerable turnover in that business, but he has made a career of it. He has a passion for serving the public, and to have the honor of being a voice for those who can no longer speak. He enjoys working hard with his teammates as they carry out their agency's mission by accepting the responsibility with integrity, diligence, and compassion in order to best assist and provide answers to families, law enforcement, and the taxpayers of the state of Oklahoma. And when he's not working, he enjoys time with family and friends, most anything with aviation, and attempting to create drone videography. And we will see a video of that later in the show, and you really need to stick around for that, because it's epic. There's nothing like putting on a pair of, this is him saying, there's nothing like putting on a pair of 4K goggles and flying to escape the crazy world for a while. And his relationship with God is the most important thing to him, and in many ways. And he also has an adult daughter, and who is Caitlin, and is married to Jonah, and that he's very proud of the both of them. And lastly, he enjoys the company with his best buddy and dog, Mr. Winston. So bring on Philip. Welcome to the show, my friend. We've been talking about this for a long time.
We have.
And fortunately, we were able to, no, it's my pleasure. Believe me. You were somebody that I have tremendous respect for. You have taken that position and you really are you're always trying to better the profession and to just make everybody better and within that world of the medical examiner's office. And I appreciate that. I see what you do from afar, and it's very, very impressive. So where are you from? And let's talk a little bit about how you started out in this business to begin with. What's your background before becoming a death investigator?
So as far as being where I'm from, kind of everywhere. I was a military brat. Lived all over the world until I was about 16, 17. Then my dad retired out of the Air Force in Arizona, and I was just that's where we were stuck. And then he became a preacher, so I'm also a preacher's kid. So people always like, what's wrong with him? And well, that's what I usually get from people. Oh, preacher's kids are the worst. So I stayed in Arizona, and I just kind of did several odd jobs until I met a paramedic instructor at my daughter's school, like I think kindergarten, first grade or something. And he said, hey, you ever thought about, getting in the fire service? And I said, no, I've, uncles that are firefighters, and nothing against them. I just don't want to fight fires, especially in Arizona. It's hot. But he said he also taught paramedicine and EMT. And so I took his course and became an EMT and worked for an ambulance company there in conjunction with the local fire departments, and then started going to school. And while I was going to school and still working as an EMT, what really got me interested in death investigation, believe it or not, is the show The First 48. And I'm talking about like the Miami episodes.
Really?
I think I shared that with your cameraman. Is it Michael?
Oh, Mikey G.
Yes.
Mikey Gagliardi. Yeah.
Yes, he's awesome.
He is.
I told him that one day. No, but that's a true story. Like when it first came out, and I started watching that, and they used to have like medical examiner, like the doctors go out to the scenes there in Miami. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. Obviously I'm going to go to, med school and become a doctor. And then I found out just kind of through word of mouth that, they have investigators that go out and investigate the scenes and the death and collect evidence and photographic evidence of the scene, even physical evidence, and talk to families and just do all that up front before they get to autopsy. And I thought, that's what I want to do. And so Maricopa County in Arizona, the ME office has a phenomenal internship / volunteer program. I say volunteer because you can also volunteer there. I don't know if they still have that today. I do know they have an internship program because we just hired one of their people that went through the intern program. But it's more like a kind of a reserve officer position, except you still couldn't do everything that it encompasses. So I started doing that. Like
technically, you probably are not running out solo on scenes.
Right. Yeah. And there's like certain things you can't, you can't talk to families and, write certain things and whatnot. But it was a really good program. I had a ton of great mentors, people that, were in the business long before me and just took me under their wing. And I almost parted ways because somebody wanted to get rid of the intern volunteer program at the time that I was there. And one of the investigators who eventually rose to the chief investigator and is now the Clark County coroner in Las Vegas, who I have a lot of respect for, Melanie Rouse. She drafted like a petition, a letter of why we should keep this program or at least Phil. And everybody in the office signed it. And that was super touching. I still have it to this day, framed. And it went up the chain and they said, yeah, let's keep Phil on. And then we eventually implemented intern program again, full speed, and I got hired on. So without her doing that, I don't know where I'd be. That would have been it. I'd been probably found something else. So indebted to her forever.
Phoenix is a huge city. I mean, what size of a city is Phoenix? That's where Maricopa County is a big place.
Yeah, but so Maricopa County, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's around 5 million people population.
No, that sounds about right. Actually,
yeah,
I mean,
it's
huge.
Yeah, we don't even have that many citizens in Oklahoma. I think there's.
No, you're right. We got you're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so when you put like nearly 5 million people within one county, and I would say Tulsa, Creek, maybe part of Wagner County.
Yeah.
Just to look at the dynamics, area of it, put 5 million people just within there. I mean, that's a lot of death. That's a lot of stuff. I saw anything, everything. I was fortunate to have that experience. Great people there, and just
I bet you were inundated with death every day. I mean, there was never a day that you didn't have a death. I can't even imagine.
No, or maybe not at all. Mm-mm. No.
So did you guys just do Maricopa County, or were you responsible for a region of the state?
No, just Maricopa County. Yeah,
just Maricopa. So is there like I'm sure that there are in some of those other counties that are rural. I mean, they've probably got multiple counties that are responsible, but you're still under the same umbrella of the medical examiner's office. I'm assuming it's an ME's office, right? Or is it coroner?
Yeah. So each county there has their own ME office.
Okay.
But yeah, they operate under the same state statutes.
Yeah, but you're the big brother. You guys are the ones that are doing. You guys are, rocking it every day, no doubt.
Yeah.
And so,
all right, County is pretty busy down in Tucson because they have a lot of you want to talk about unidentified people, and that's mainly border crossers. So,
yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure there's a lot of them, just because of getting caught out there in the middle of the desert with heat, or who knows, they could actually get bit by a snake or who knows what.
Oh, but I had many in the desert.
Yeah, well, the desert's certainly in Phoenix, so for sure you're right in the heart of it. And so anyway, you do that. And how many death investigators were in that specific office? Just
oh gosh, at that time, I want to say 25 maybe.
Okay, that's a lot.
I mean, and we were still understaffed. I'm not even sure how many they have now. I still keep in contact with a few people there, but yeah, I know they're busy as. I mean, that's one thing about death. It's not like it's gonna get better. There's always someone gonna die.
Yeah.
So
you have that there. The thing that's always kind of fascinating to me with respect to I'm going to refer to the medical examiner system because it's just what I'm familiar with. But I know California is the coroner; they're a coroner state. How is that broke down? Do you know? I think in there like 16 that are ME states, maybe 16 that are
there's
coroners
some of them are coroners, some of them are medical examiner, and then I want to say there's a few that. Well,
there's a few that are both, right?
Yeah, that are both. And then there are some that use a privatized company to run their medical examiner system.
Okay.
For them.
And
so
just
a few out there.
Just for the people that are watching tonight, what is the real main difference between a coroner and a medical examiner or investigator?
So a coroner is
or the system, yeah.
Yeah, a coroner is elected appointed position. And you could literally just meet the criteria to be an elected official and not have any medical background or whatnot, and be elected coroner of some county. It's typically not like that though. I do know some coroners, and they do have pretty good medical background, and they do sign death certificates, but they also reach out and talk to physicians, people who are involved with this person's health, and they will get consultations on things like that. And so, and then if it's obviously a criminal aspect, they send it to like the state ME to have a autopsy by a forensic pathologist.
Mhm.
So they can't just sign it off and be like, oh, this person was murdered without no investigation or autopsy done.
Right.
So
All right. So that's interesting. So basically, and I too, Philip, I was inspired by television to, I kind of wanted to be in your business too, but the show was way before you were born, and it was called Quincy.
oh yeah.
And yeah, and I literally, I got to tell you a quick story that's kind of funny, is that we were staying in a Holiday Inn in Los Angeles one time, and I remember it. And right across the street from the Holiday Inn, I was watching. There was a woman's hospital. It was I can't remember the name of it, but I know it was a woman's hospital,
Mhm.
and it was where the medical examiner's office for LA County was located in that first floor. And so they had a parking garage that was right there, and it was just a constant stream of hearses and vehicles dropping people off. And I was sitting there looking at this when I was a little kid, and I was watching it. My mom was like, "What are you looking at?" And I said, they're bringing bodies in over here, this place. And she's like, "Get away from that window." And I'm like, no, I'm waiting I want to see if I'm going to see Quincy,
Yeah.
or Sam, his little helper and
Right.
stuff. So, but anyway, so that's kind of, it's interesting how little things like that can inspire people to want to do that. And I did want to work in the ME's office. As a matter of fact, we have some similarities. I actually applied for the Oklahoma City office back when I was a young kid. And I didn't get it either time, but I certainly tried.
Oh.
Do you guys still work 24-hour shifts now?
Our district investigators do. And
Okay.
when I say district, so we have two offices, main offices. You have the Oklahoma City office and the Tulsa office, and depending on where somebody passes is which office they're going to go to. And each of those two offices cover a certain amount of counties. So myself, I cover Tulsa, Creek, Wagner County.
Just you.
However,
That's
just my area, but that doesn't mean I can't go to any other county. I mean, I work for the,
Sure.
the state. If there's somebody that needs help, or there's several cases going on somewhere else, sure, we'll go and help them. But outside of that area of where each office just covers are districts, and they're all split up, and each district has a certain amount of counties. And those investigators work 24 hours on, then they have 2 days off, and then 24 on, and they respond from their homes, and they have to live. Yeah, they have to live within their district, obviously.
That's kind of cool. I mean,
yeah, and they're either really
nice.
they're either really busy, or sometimes not at all. But I mean, those guys, it's a whole different world down there, or up, I would say, around the Tulsa area. And I mean, you get way down into the boonies. It's just a different ball game, an environment, and then they could be driving all over the place. It's a lot. Yeah.
Huh. Now tell the listeners or the people that are watching in here, what does your job entail? I mean, just the nuts and bolts, what is your job? I know you're a death investigator. You're a medical legal death investigator for the ME's office. And what is the responsibilities that you have specifically in your position?
So a death call comes in, whether it be from a hospital, law enforcement, nursing home, even a funeral home. They may call something that they see. So we will triage, we'll take the death call and go from there. Everything is obviously a homicide until proven otherwise. Sometimes within about 10 seconds, we can narrow that down to like, okay, this is 98% not a homicide, but it still may be a medical examiner case. So we start by taking the death call, taking all the information and then making a determination if it meets our criteria to be in a medical examiner case. We have, a certain criteria. We can't just, bring anyone in that just wants an autopsy or, they think needs to come in. It would be like, one of your officers go into the jail and say, what are you booking them for? Well, I don't know. So same thing with our office. We have to have a certain criteria met. And then once we figure out what we're going to do with that, if we decide, well, we're going to waive jurisdiction, and then we'll type a synopsis and document everything so it's there that it was reported. So essentially, it is an investigation, it's a small one. If they are a medical examiner case, is it something that we need to respond to a scene for? And by the way, all of our duties and powers that are given to us are by our chief medical examiner, Dr. Pfeiffer in Oklahoma City, who can appoint and delegate duties under him. And so that's where we get our powers from to act on his behalf. And for our office in Tulsa, it would be our deputy chief, Dr. Lanter. I know you know him.
Oh, yes. Very well.
Yeah, great guy.
No, you guys have some great doctors up here in our,
our
area. They're phenomenal for sure.
Yeah.
I can remember back in the day, I've seen a handful of autopsies and so forth. The only problem was we're so darn busy that we were always running and gunning. So we really didn't have time to just go to autopsy after autopsy. I would have liked to have, but I can remember one time when I'd first start, remember I was a scrub tech forever. And so I remember, I think it was my first autopsy and Dr. Lanter was doing it. And he was needing some help doing something. And I just went and grabbed some gloves and he's like, no. You can't help, but you can't help us, man. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Just have it, But
I get it.
I really like him because he's somebody that we've been able to. He's very good for us. As long as we explain what we want to do. Usually, I can't ever remember him ever saying no. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he's very approachable, and he's just great leader, and I look up to him a lot. And a lot of
he's very smart, and Dr. Miller too is one of my favorites as well. So and he's been on the show.
I always say he's the smart Miller, and then I'm like Miller Jr. And then he was like, well, why don't we just be Miller Jr. and Senior? I'm like, well, then I'd be Senior because I'm older than you.
Yeah, for sure. But
so
anyway, so do you guys, do you ever, it's kind of interesting to me too. And I think they're getting better on it. They've had association. Well, first of all, they've made they've given you certifications for medical legal death investigation. That didn't happen back. That's probably 20 years ago. I don't even know if they had that 20 years ago, really. You might know.
Yeah.
Did they have that back then?
I think they started around, and I mean, I'd have to double check because I really don't know. I want to say around 2002, maybe.
Okay, so it's relatively new. I mean, theoretically,
yeah. They created the American Board of Medical Legal Death Investigators, and that's who you get registered through as a diplomat. And then after you meet a certain criteria, you can go back and test and become a fellow board certified.
Well, let's just before we get any further, I definitely want to give credit where credit's due. You're not just a death investigator. You're a part of a lot of other things. You're a part of a lot of the associations. I think you're a vice chair. Are you still a vice? What are you a part of? Because I know you're a lot in the national level as well, right?
Yeah, right. So I sit on the board of directors with SOMDI, which is Society of Medical Legal Death Investigators. And I've been on with them for 4 or 5 years. And then I do some subcommittee stuff there. And then I'm the vice chair of the Medical Legal Death Investigations Committee with NAME, and NAME is our accrediting agency, National Association of Medical Examiners. And until recently, the last few years, death investigators kind of weren't involved in that because it was just, forensic pathologists. So they've, opened the doors to that. And so I'm the vice chair of that committee, and the chair is actually the Cook County medical examiner chief, Dr. Erin Kumar. And she's amazing, really smart. Love her to death. So I do that. And then, gosh, I was on with the American or Academy Standards Board with the AFS, American Academy of Forensic Sciences, and did that for a couple of years. And that's just kind of helped writing standards and guidelines for what we do across the nation. And they have other I would say skill sets. It's not just death investigators. They have other things that they're doing under there. Yeah.
So you're really involved, and I think that's fantastic. And the thing that my point was that I think it's getting better now, but for it's really different because across this country, like in New York City, they're physicians assistants that are death investigators for their ME's office. I don't know if that's statewide or if it's just New York City. But then you go to other states, like I think up in Wisconsin and stuff, or Michigan, you might have RNs that are doing that job. And then here in Oklahoma, you don't have to be either one of those. You could, I think an EMT you require that? Is that one of the requirements for you guys?
No, it's not, but it helps. Some of the greatest investigators, that I could say are EMTs, paramedics, RNs, because medico legal is our job title, and most of it is in the medical aspect. So when you're training somebody new, if they already have that down, I mean, then they're miles ahead, and that just works out great. And then you have the legal part of the job. So
yeah. And you're in your office right now, just to let people know, it is world class. I mean, their facilities that they're in Tulsa, it's unbelievable. I mean, you don't even smell death over there. When you go in that off, you could smell it kind of down the street. I mean, literally you could. Nowadays, you guys have air filtration systems in there and stuff. It's unbelievable. I mean, it is unbelievable how awesome it is. And it looked like it's like everything that you guys have ever could want in an ME's office, or where they do autopsies and stuff. It's just absolutely awesome. And so I don't know what they paid for that thing, but it's pretty incredible compared to what you guys were in. Honestly,
yeah, and a lot of that was in the works before I even came on at that agency. So, they had been working hard at that for quite a while.
Yeah, so, and probably, I think OSU's got something to do with it. I'm thinking, but I don't know. But Oklahoma State University, did they have anything to do with that? Because it's kind of in their building.
Yeah, so we're in one of their buildings, and we're attached to their medical school campus. So, and I don't know the ins and outs of all that as far as, what until or as much in depth as we are attached to that, I don't know, but
yeah,
it's something.
So you not only worked in Maricopa County, which is massive. It's just incredible how much that you were exposed to there. Then you went from there and you ended up going to Nashville, which is another huge market. That's a big city there too. And so you transitioned from there to Nashville. Was there any major differences to that? Or, I mean, is it pretty much, it's the same thing? You're doing pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I tell people you can pretty much go anywhere in the world and investigate a death, but each office has their own procedures, policies.
Right.
And even outside of the office, law enforcement or their crime scene units are going to be different. Getting there and getting plugged in and figuring out, how things are in that climate is the biggest deal. But yeah, it was definitely big change. It was a little slower because we weren't covering as many people as Maricopa County. I mean, in Maricopa County, it was just scene after scene after death scene after death scene.
And then you come to the Oklahoma one, and I think Oklahoma's got a pretty decent reputation throughout this country. At least I've never heard anything negative about it. So you end up coming here, and I'm sure you could get a job at any people all over this country, which is and I do too, and that's really priceless when you can call anybody. And so the real reason that I bring you on here, and this is what hopefully the people you've stuck around, because what's going to be good is he's a pioneer too, and that's what I really want to talk about, because he started up a drone program there at the medical examiner's office. And Amanda, go ahead and cue up that video and let me know when that video is ready to play. And I want to show this video that he'd actually sent to me, and she's ready to go. So let's show this video that he put together showing about the drone program. Nicely done, Philip. Your coins that you put together too are some of the best I've ever seen. I mean,
I have like a backlog of coins that I owe people. Yeah, there you go. And we have tactical patches. So as soon as they get in, we've got already a list of people.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to send a link.
People. Obviously, I didn't make that one.
I am sending a link to Danny Couples. He actually made it back, and he's going to come in and hang out with us for a little bit. And I think that's going to be good, because since you actually know him, I had no idea you knew him.
I don't know him. We just know of him and have worked without pretty much seeing each other. But yeah.
Well, he told me it was kind of a big deal. I don't know. At one point, he was I think he was like the chief death investigator for the state of Tennessee there for a while. But anyway, hopefully you get that. I mean, hopefully he's got this link.
Oh, so I dabble around in drone videos. So I edited that and put that together.
Oh no, it's awesome. It's really awesome. As a matter of fact, Philip, I'm wanting you to do you need to help me with some creative. You need to be like a creative consultant behind the scenes and make my podcast.
Hey, you need to come out and fly sometime. Let me put some goggles on you, and you will just be amazed. really.
I really do need to do that.
It's just
sure.
distressing, you know. You get out there and you're in the middle of nowhere, and it's just awesome. I was flying a while back and down the Arkansas River, kind of low, and looked over to the right, and there was a bald eagle right next to me, and I was just like, wow, it was amazing. So
It is amazing.
The airspace is yours, my friend. I'm out.
Well, let me ask you this: how did that whole thing even come about? I mean, I know that it's something you came up with. I'd love to. What started all of that?
So, and this is funny, and I have to preface it with this: my childhood dream was to be an Air Force fighter pilot. I mean, that's all I wanted to be. I know one day when I was standing over a badly decomposed body in the middle of Arizona, and it was hot, and I was frustrated, and I heard some jets soar over, and I just thought, there's a disconnect somewhere. That just didn't pan out. But anyhow, so fast forward many years, and that was in Phoenix when I had that little thought. Fast forward many years, and I come to the state of Oklahoma. Well, their old chief, he's not old, but the chief at their time, right before I had come to Oklahoma, his name is Jeremy Benavides. In fact, his dad is over homicide in Oklahoma City, Inspector Benavides. I don't know if you know him.
No.
Yeah. So anyhow, he was the chief investigator out of the Oklahoma City office, and he had this vision to, put drones into the medical death investigator system, and fought for it for a couple of years, and ended up leaving, and works for LifeShare, and but right before he left, they were able to procure 2 drones, and so when I heard about that a year later, that they had just been sitting in a closet for a year, I jumped all over it. I begged my boss, Sammy, her.
Yeah.
I begged her. I was like, hey, let me do this. And she said, well, you have to be a FAA or get a FAA pilot Part 107 license to fly that. Angela told me the same thing, Berg. I think she was going to do it at one point, but you know how busy she is. She's just got a ton of stuff going on there.
There's Danny. Danny, this is Philip Miller, and he'd said early on, he said he's probably talked to you many times on the phone. He worked in Nashville.
I worked at Forensic Medical.
Yeah, I did too. I worked for Forensic Medical.
Yeah, so I think you came in right after I had left.
Oh, okay. Okay, worked with Candace.
Well, no, I was in Nashville.
Yeah, Candace Sexton is who I worked under there.
Yeah. I worked under her, unfortunately. And
yeah, we have met then. It's been a while.
I was going to say, yeah, because when I was there from 2016 to 2018.
Okay.
So, in fact, I think, aside from you calling in deaths, weren't you down in Robertson County, or?
I was down in Murray County.
County.
Yeah, I was, and then I went to the state as their first state death investigator. Of course, we labeled it as the first chief death investigator for Tennessee. I worked under Karen Klein Perhamovich.
Okay.
And on the state level.
Yeah. Now she's in Washington.
Yes.
Because I just did a presentation for the King County ME's office.
Okay.
Yeah, she had reached out to me, but anyway, when I saw your name, I was like, I know that name. I've talked to him a bunch of times. I know he's called in and said, hey, I'm sending you somebody, and
yeah,
and I may have heard you speak. Do you do something on child death investigation?
I do a lot. I still do it. I still do it with the state.
Yep.
At MTSU.
Yep. I took that course.
Okay.
In 2018, I believe, over in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have seen each other.
Small world.
It is. It is a small world. I'm sorry I missed part of the show today. I was really excited to hear about what you're doing with drones.
Well,
Yeah.
he just started talking about it, actually, Danny.
Okay. Well,
He
good
just
deal.
started, and actually, I'm glad you're here because this sounds like something that maybe in the world of cold case stuff that
Right.
it could potentially pay dividends as well. So he was just talking about how he ended up starting this program, and
so-
how he got motivated. So keep going.
Yeah. So Jeremy Benavides, again, who's the one who literally had the idea and pushed for it, left, and the drones that were procured were just sitting there. And so I begged my supervisor, Sammy, please let me do this. And then that's when they said, you're going to have to get an FAA pilot's license. And I'm like, no, you don't. It's just a drone. And they were right. I was like, oh, I do. And that was a whole deal in itself. And and then she said, yeah, go talk to Dr. Lanner. I talked to Dr. Lanner and was like, please. And he said, sure. And I said, all right. And they just kind of like let me, take the reins and just, well, hey, what can you do with this? I don't think anybody knew.
Well, yeah, that's what I want to know. I mean, what did you think that it was going to bring to the table initially? What was your vision?
Just documentation was like the biggest thing, and support. When you look back at like first medical examiner cases, I mean, years ago, and probably prior to like Dr. Was it Quincy you're talking about? Yeah. Prior to that, what you would get in a case file, one photo, and it was usually like the side of the face at autopsy with a number, and that's it. Like no scene photos, no like autopsy photos of everything broken down and the organs and whatever. I mean, we've come such a long way, and the technology was there, and so I thought I kind of don't know what to get into, but I have a little idea, and I want to start documenting scenes from the air. And so I just started flying everything that I could, and after about 2 years, we reconvened, and I put together, some of the cases that were very advantageous. Yeah, did I say that right? Advantageous. I always say advantages.
Yeah.
Sounded good.
Yeah, so put that together, and we had a meeting with Sammy and Dr. Lanner, and then our chief, Dr. Pfeiffer, and we found that it was, beneficial. And I said, but we're going to need an upgrade. The drone that we had didn't have thermal, didn't have a zoom camera, didn't have a light spotlight for night flying, and it wasn't able to just do a lot of things that I figured out that we did need. And so they said yes, and that was when the whole drone program was created. Started writing guidelines and things like that. I got 2 certificate of authorization waivers through the FAA, public safety waivers for our agency to fly. And then we procured a new drone that is the one that's in the picture that you showed. That's our larger one. And that thing is, that's awesome. We actually have a newer light for that, because on there on top, you could see to the right is 2 circles. Those are, the spotlight. And then that's a PA system, which, I thought, well, at that time, in order to get the light, they only made one with the PA system. And so we ended up getting that. And I thought, when am I going to use a PA system? I will every now and then, if we have an investigator that's on the ground and, I'm using the spotlight, and I'll, talk to them. Hey, is this too much light or whatever? And they'll give hand directions or whatnot. But anyways, we got a new light for the top there, and it's got 6 of those, and it's just massive, the diameter. And anyhow, so that's kind of where it basically started with Jeremy's vision, and then me taking on and going, okay, what are we going to do with this? Okay, this is found to be very beneficial. This is when we should use it. Then this is when we shouldn't use it. And it's coming really great for a lot of cases. Documentation wise, we can live stream from the drone. I know every time we do one that's with Tulsa police, I'll send out a link. It'll go to major crimes, and so they all get that. And our investigators are pathologists. So if I'm out at a scene or something and see something, I can go ahead and send them a live feed, and they can see what's going on. Especially if it's something like a mass disaster, multiple fatalities where we might need more resources. Well, this gives them a bird's eye view of everything that's going on, so they can make those decisions there. And actually had one case that and you and I are both presenting at III next month. In fact, I'm right after you, Jason.
Yeah, well, it's actually not even next month. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, technically it's next month. It's like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. And they're like, hey, so here's when you speak right after Jason White. I was like, oh, thanks.
No, you're going to be fine. You feel, come on. Yeah, you're gonna blow me away. Probably.
Don't go after Jason White. Whatever you do, change that. Okay.
I know. So, but there's one case where we had skeletal remains in a creek, and it was pitch black, and it was down a slope. We couldn't get any lighting down there. It was like basically a flashlight. So, in terms of using the drone with in a medical legal death investigation, it's not always investigating the death. A lot of the times it's air support and light support. So I hovered over them and provided the spotlight. It lit up the whole scene so they could work. And then on top of that, not only they didn't have light, well, it was skeletal remains. Well, who was our specialist? Angela Berg. And I was able to live stream to her, and I don't know if she may not have been out of the country at the time. I'll have to ask her, right? Because I can't remember, but I know she wasn't available to come out. However, she was able to sit there, look at her phone, and give them directions on, hey, I need this done or that done or whatever. And it was just amazing to have that tool right there. Plus, it records in wide, zoom, and thermal all at the same time. Video. It's got a laser range finder. Anything I point at, it'll tell me the GPS location and how far away it is, and the temperature of what it's pointing at within a certain amount of reason.
That's incredible, man. I'm tapping my toe right now, thinking, imagining what kind of benefits this could be. It's just like incredible. I mean, you're bringing the scene to the forensic pathologist or whoever's there that needs to see it without having to come out there.
Right.
And what about sharing your I know back in where I'm from, we shared, as long as the law enforcement were working the same scene, we shared all of our documentation together where they can use it on their case, on their side, because as a death investigator, from the eyes of a death investigator, I'm thinking some things that you said a while ago about the temperature, about laser measurements and things that we look at things a little bit differently, and both sides do. And to me, that's just incredible.
Yeah, and we do share it, because in the grand scheme of things, they can just say, hey, we're sending a request for your photos, just like we can do with the police department. So, and with drone operators, now it's booming. I mean, overnight. And there are a lot of drone operators. However, not everybody has a drone at the time that you need one. Not everybody's on duty. And so we kind of rely on each other. And maybe I'm working a scene with a certain department, and their drone operators got a ton of stuff going on. Hey, can we request your stuff? Absolutely. And so, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something on our end. Just curious. I mean, I am curious. I've got a question. So the bodies when they decompose, when there's going to be heat. Is there not? Is there some sort of a heat? Do they kind of get? I mean, I don't know. This is my own ignorance. Is there some sort of a heat signal if they're in the process of decomposition? Maybe
there can be, but decomposition is a process that it's either going to go really fast if there's heat involved, or if it's cold, they'll still decompose, but it's going to be at a slower rate. However, what we have found is when looking at thermal imaging, and you'll see this on the presentation next month. There's one where there's a full skeleton, and I went back and looked at thermal imaging, and it was during the daytime. And I don't know why. I don't know if I was bored or whatnot. I was like, I'm gonna look at the thermal just for whatever reason, because I had only used thermal at night. But flying over the field, the only thing that came up, the anomaly, was the skeletal remains. And I thought, holy cow, this is huge.
Wow.
So why?
Yeah. So
I mean, why? I mean, what was it about it? Is it just that it just
the
one thing that doesn't fit the rest? It doesn't look the same as
right. Yeah. And then when you pan out of thermal into just widescreen, there's so much brush around, like you can't pick it out of where it is. So I don't know if it's the density of the bone or whatnot, but we've been having some success with that. And the drone has 10 different colored palettes, which I think you saw in that video. I ran through a couple of them really quick, and different things will come up in different colors. And so we had a case this past winter. It was very unfortunate, where two young boys had lost their lives in a frozen creek. However, looking in thermal and running the feed through the pallets to see which one they come up the most prominent on will be, it's hugely beneficial for any type of case where that may happen again, where, hey, somebody's in an icy river and we're looking for them, and we can say, hey, you know what? There's this case and this pallet works the best, especially with somebody that's cold. And so, as unfortunate it was, that was beneficial to help others down the road.
Well, I mean, that's something that you're probably in the works of. I mean, I think I heard you before we got rolling today. You're talking about maybe writing a book of something, or what kind of a book are you doing? That is that something that you got on your radar?
Yeah, it's on my radar. I've jotted some things, but I'm so busy. I'm gonna have to wait until I come to full stop and just have time to, otherwise I got.
But I mean, theoretically, you could come up with some sort of a death guide in using drones, and that would be something that like the pocket guide of like just what you talked about. Use this filter if you're dealing with that, and somebody potentially in water.
Yeah, and there's really small drones that we use to go into places that you just can't fit into. Where we've had some cases, they're back in the woods, you can't get really back in there. But it's like, well, what
about drownings? What about drownings? Can you see in the water?
Yeah. But again, it would be on the depth, and then, how murky, it is, or clouded, and, OHP dives.
You can see around debris, though. Better from the air than you can in a boat looking across to the bank.
Yeah.
To me, if you were up high, you could see in behind maybe some brush or something. I don't know about in the water, but maybe if the water's clear. Yeah,
I have three cases involving water in my drone presentation. And then, Dan, if you know anybody that is interested in seeing, let me know. I've submitted to get some ABMDI credits for that, because I'm on the board of SOMDI with Lauren and Kelly.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, out of Tennessee, and I've presented it on there, but Jason will get to see the full thing next week, and or
I may
a couple weeks
I
ago.
may have to get down there. I'll get over to Tulsa and see you
Hey,
guys.
I need to come over to Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I'd rather. We don't want you coming here, Danny. We would
Yeah,
rather
I have family there, and then plus the girls, and I say the girls because when I worked there, I
Yeah,
was the only male
I
investigator,
know. Me too. I was the only guy.
and now in the Tulsa office, I'm the only male investigator.
Oh
Again,
wow,
yeah.
wow.
Well, we have some district investigators that are male, but I don't work out in the district, so
Yeah.
I like to say that they pick on me all the time and they're mean to me and things like that, and it doesn't really work out. I mean, like, look at my background. They keep me in a prison cell.
Yeah.
They only let me out when it's time to work, and that's it. I'm sure.
Right.
Well, when we get out of here, when we done today, definitely, Danny, get him your information, because when he goes to see his relatives, I'm telling you, he showed me some stuff in the ME's office. He'd showed me some of his drone footage when they were looking for bones, and it was unbelievable. It was really, it was unbelievable for me to see it, and I just see a lot of the values. There's just an upside to this. So, what does a drone like that cost?
So that one we've had, about 3 years now, and we haven't had anything since. So we're stretching that to the max. But I think just the base was around 14,000. And then, of course, you need attachments, payloads, batteries, all sorts of stuff. Then we have a live stream platform that keeps all of our data, and that we can send out live links on. Then we have mapping software. So all that added to it, you're looking over, I don't know, near over 20,000.
Okay. It sounds like a lot, but in reality, that's really not much considering what you're getting.
No, and now so some of the newer drones that are out there are 3 and 4 times as much and not as great as the company that we use. But I mean, the sky's endless on this stuff, and it's just been really beneficial. And even like a motor vehicle fatality,
Right.
you know how it is, Danny. You get out there and you got to walk through and get this and that.
Yep.
And that. I mean, you send up a drone and I draw a little box on the map, and then I hit go, and it goes to a certain altitude, scans back and forth, done in like 3 minutes.
That's crazy.
And then you can go back and you have the whole scene in 4K in one map.
That just blows my mind, man. It really does. There's
And
so
then
many you can use it. It's just
at night it's been great. I mean, you can see human tissue comes up on the thermal. Using the spotlight in areas where maybe a car went off somewhere. It's become helpful in a safety aspect too, because sometimes in these motor vehicle fatalities, they'll have a lane still flowing. And if we don't have to be out right there taking photos and worrying about somebody, a looky-loo barging into our scene and striking somebody, I can stay away from it and get the data that I need. And so, air support, documentation, scene safety,
protecting. This might be far out there, but and I know you're not going to take a drone and follow the van back to the forensic center, but protecting evidence. A lot of times where in some of your other counties, I know you do this, and I've done this, is documenting the body bag with a tag with a number on it, and when it gets to the forensic center, you look at that tag and you document it, and that proves that body bag wasn't tampered with between the scene and the forensic center. I mean, with the drone, that could help with that information there, but as it's leaving, I mean, it's showing that it was done or whatever and put in and then left.
Right.
But there's so many things I can sit here and just go through my mind.
Yeah, one of the other things
you can do with this.
One of the other things, just unless I'm just creating this in my brain, but isn't it? Weren't you able to see like where a grave was dug or something like that, based on this drone footage? Or maybe I'm thinking this. Maybe I dreamt this.
I have in just practicing and kind of being out in the field and trying different things. um, there's the technology of LiDAR that will show anomalies, and
in the ground, right?
right. There's a lot of stuff that I would love to have.
Yeah. So the technology is there.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of how much you want to pay.
Right.
Basically.
It's there, and I'm fortunate to be a part of it. And and I will mention, when I first started doing this, I really didn't know how, what I was really doing as far as a lot of the legal aspects. And one of the Tulsa fire investigators introduced me to their drone guy, which is Gabe Graveline, and he's pretty instrumental in the drone world, especially the state of Oklahoma. So you could say his name anywhere and everybody knows Gabe. But he took the time to just kind of walk me through a lot of stuff, and has been instrumental. So I'm very fortunate to him. And literally, for this to work, it's not just me. I mean, it's the whole team. It's my team calling me out on something that potentially could be used on. It's my boss, allow me to do this stuff, and Dr. Lander and Chief Pfeiffer that have been graciously, backing me on this. And without their support, none of this could happen. And so
I think that's great. You've spoke about this most recently, like in New Orleans. You were speaking there at the AAFS conference, I think, right? And so, and I think I knew a couple of medical examiners, I knew a couple of pathologists, I think, that went to that. Well, some people that were in some way in the industry. So when you go to speak to these different places, King County, I know we're going to be speaking somewhere else down the line, and not only at IAI but somewhere else. And
California.
San Diego. It's going to be awesome, Danny. That's where you should really go, is San Diego.
Yeah, I love San Diego. I spoke at a forensics class out there. They didn't want me to stop talking because they liked my accent, I guess. I don't know. They didn't care what I'm saying.
Yeah, they usually don't. The accent gets you a long ways. So what my point is that you've talked to all these different places. Why are you guys still the only ones in the building that's got this? What's it going to take to get people to really get the ball rolling here? It makes great sense.
I think it's just it comes down to most ME offices across the nation are underfunded and understaffed, and when you look at it, what's at the top of the list? What does that office need the most? Do they need a new X-ray machine for autopsy, or hey, let's go out and get some drones and start this? I think, again, it'll eventually come to fruition, just like with police and fire. Drones have been around a while for there, but I know Tulsa Fire and Tulsa Police have stuff that they're working on, and sure. I'm really anxious to see what they come out with, because they're doing some great things. So
this sounds like something that a grant, you could maybe apply for a grant.
Yeah,
this actually makes great sense. As opposed to studying the moth, this is real, and this is something that we could utilize money for, that could make a real difference. And is there even any grants out there available?
There are some, but it's more specific, especially when you look like an NIJ grant. Some of them are more geared towards law enforcement, and then they're like, well, you guys are on the medical examiner side, and then on the medical examiner side, nobody's done this before, so it's kind of not written into a lot of things. But we have been looking at some different grants, and hoping to get something going and getting all this technology, because it's there, it can be used, and then shared, because my whole thing is not it's not like, oh, hey, we created this and it's ours or whatever. No. The thing is to create something and then share it with everyone. Like, look, this works. And if anybody wants to get involved, because law enforcement droning or the fire department droning is a whole different thing, but a death scene, is just
You're
down to
looking
one
at
little
you're
thing.
looking for different things. We had a munitions plant. I'm sure you heard about it because it was over in it's not far from where I'm at right now, but it's a munitions plant exploded and killed it just killed everybody in the plant. This was like national news back last summer, and it literally just wiped it all away. And you're talking about using a drone. I'm sure the law enforcement had drones, but for the medical examiner side, when you have maybe filters on there that may pick out body parts or whatever, that would be a perfect time to use that.
Yeah, and I've done that. I've seen there are probably 3 really great scenes that I can't wait to implement into my presentations. However, they still haven't been adjudicated, and I mean they're drawn out forever. One of them's a death penalty case, and until that happens, I can't present on those. But yeah, I mean, just to be able to send it up and get one photo or map the area, and then you go back to your desk and go click, 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 and then you're marking those areas, and it's a GPS.
Wow.
And I mean, it's within centimeter accuracy. I had a motor vehicle accident one day, and the Tulsa motor officer, he was just walking up and down the road and measuring things out, and he's like, and you're over there just sitting down, Phil. You sent your drone up for 3 minutes and got everything, and so he's giving me a hard time. But he says, hey, measure this out and or pinpoint this part where I did, and tell me what you got. And I think it was like a 1/4 of an inch off or something.
You're kidding, man. That's crazy.
Measuring from the air as if you're standing on the ground.
That's crazy.
And we've had a lot of success with the GPS coordinates as well, because on our outside scenes, we'll use like a handheld GPS device, and sometimes things can throw it off, whether there's like a lot of magnetic energy, power wires, or where you're just not getting a good satellite signal. Well, a drone is way up in the air, and it's getting all the satellites dialed in. And
Wow.
So, when you put something on a death certificate like this is where they died, and you can literally pinpoint this is exactly where they died. It's
what about the state? What about your state? You remember when you worked in Tennessee, I worked in the state office, and the state actually, does have grants that they're looking. And I know we ended up buying computers for everybody. If you remember that, we handed out computers to all the death investigators across the state. I mean, have you tried going to a state level in the state office and requesting funds to help with that?
Yeah, and in fact, I just set up like a table and a booth in the state capitol rotunda in April during Aero Aviation Week, and I met with some of the aerospace people at the state level and spoke with them about it. And so there's some things there. They just went through and finalized the budget for 2027. So at this point, it would be grants, but yeah, anything to advance this further, because
right.
It's just again, it's not for every scene. It's not, but there are some that it's like, wow, I have that. Especially now there's a 360-degree drone where you just take one picture and it films in 8K, which it's kind of a moot selling point. It sounds really cool. I bought one. I actually have 8 drones, my personal drones myself. And I bought it when I come out. I thought, oh man, this is really cool. It films in 8K. And then I realized I don't have anything to watch it on 8K. So yeah, I had to dial it down to like 4K.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but the data's still there. I mean, so
yeah,
once everybody, I mean, in a couple of years from now, everybody's going to be watching 12K television, and so this will be a moot point.
Well, maybe we can get a used one then, and that's got the technology that you need right now.
Yeah, and
somewhere.
I met at the APS conference. I met a detective from the Dallas Police Department, and he built I want to say, I don't know if it was the first, but he built a crime scene videography unit within, or drone unit within a crime scene unit. So that's all that part of the crime scene unit does. And it's, just his presentation and his stuff was phenomenal for a police level. I think it was really cool. And again, I know Tulsa Fire and Police are working hard on a lot of stuff, and so I'm excited to see them succeed and what they end up doing.
So let's say that I'm working somewhere in the state of Oklahoma, or if there's a detective out there. First of all, am I allowed to share your email? Is that okay? If somebody had questions for you, okay,
absolutely.
Then Amanda, there it is. So we can share that. We're gonna send your email out. So in the event that somebody's somewhere, I mean, there's a lot of cops that watch this throughout the country, and there's probably some death investigators somewhere that check it out too. So if they have questions, feel free to reach out to Philip. He'll be happy to answer them. And I'll tell you what, drone technology, I'm telling you, in the world of policing, just real quick, we don't have it here yet, but we have drones here, of course. But what we're going to have, there's his email there. What we're going to have is, I can tell you, in some other jurisdictions, when there's been like a shooting, they have like drones that are strategically located throughout the city, and they automatically get dispatched to go up into the air immediately. And they're like over scenes within a minute or two. They're able to clue in on maybe a suspect vehicle and stuff. I mean, if you're thinking about doing a crime, you better do it now, because there's going to come a time you forget it. I mean, I mean, it's close to that point now. The world of serial killers is over, unless they're just completely stupid. Because if they have any kind of intelligence level to them, they're not going to do that anymore. It's just too difficult to get away with it. This technology that you're exploring here, I think, it's really good.
Tulsa in general, why would you commit a homicide?
Well, yeah, right. I mean, your likelihood of getting away with it.
You guys are phenomenal. I have a lot of respect for you guys, and your crime scene unit. I'm pretty close with a lot of those people over there, and I think the world of them.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
they're great. So my question to you is this: so let's say I'm a cop somewhere else in the state of Oklahoma. Let's say I'm with OSBI, or OSBI might be listening, something like that.
They have drones,
and if they do, all right. Yeah. So, but they certainly could still call you if they needed you, right?
Yeah, anybody
in the state of Oklahoma
could call, for mutual aid. In fact, your department does sometimes. And of course, I have certain things that I have to jump through first before I can do that. Obviously, if I'm on duty and I'm working something else, I can't. And then I have to ask them, okay, what do you guys want me to do? And then I have to take that into account. But yeah, I've requested other people to help, and other people have requested me. And it's not that departments don't have drones or that there aren't enough drone pilots. It's just that no one ever seems to be on duty, or so and so has it, but the drone, he's out of town, or she's out of town, or whatnot. And so until it gets more streamlined, we still rely on each other. I know, like Gabe from Tulsa Fire could call me and be like, "Hey, can you just come help me? What do you want me to do? Just be my visual observer, or just swap out batteries for me, or go get me water," something like that. But that's how we are. And again, a lot of good things coming, especially Tulsa. And you're right, there's some phenomenal things in the world of policing, especially with like Axon. I don't know if you've seen some of their commercials. I think they have one with like showing the body camera where the officer hits the side of the body camera. There's a button, and it deploys a drone straight to that officer.
Wow!
Just with hitting that button. So
that's great.
Yeah, lot of
it's the world of technology that we're living in.
It is.
I think that volume's coming from you, Danny. I don't know what I'm hearing, some feedback.
Oh, it is.
I don't know what the deal is, but I was hearing some feedback, and I think it's coming from somewhere there. Either somebody's got something turned on or something. But listen, man, I'll tell you what. I think this is great technology. I'm glad you came on, Philip. For those of you that are tuning in, well, I mean, this is a big deal, buddy. I mean, this is a big time program, and you're a big deal, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. So,
well, I couldn't do it without my teammates and my coworkers. And
that's right.
Yeah, as you see, they keep me in a prison.
That's right.
I only say this because I'm joking with them, but you know what? Next week, you'll probably come, if you stop by my cubicle, there's probably going to be like a glass wall there. I'll be like, hello, Clarice, you know. No, they're really great. They keep me on my toes. I love them to death. And
hey, just out of curiosity, you know, the new ME's office, you know, I don't know that there's been time, but in the old one, I mean, sometimes you're in there late at night. Was it kind of, did you ever, I mean, I don't even know, did you ever get a little spooky in there? You know, when you ever hear kind of weird noises or anything?
Yeah, I mean, you'll always hear what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But no, I never did. And I work nights, so, which is why sometimes you'll see me over at crime scene, just because I don't want to be sitting by myself. And,
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah, and those guys and gals over there, they're awesome.
Hey, the final thing I want to ask you though, you guys are short. You guys are short-handed there at the ME's office. Are there job openings right now? And if so, and there may not be right now, there may be a freeze, but if there are job openings right now, what if somebody wants to do what you do, what's really the basic requirements for them to actually seek out a position to maybe be a death investigator?
Good thing with schooling, any type of forensic science, criminology background, and then if they have any type of medical background, paramedic, EMT. To this day, I always say that paramedics make the best death investigators due to the amount of medical knowledge they have is really literally right on scope of what you need to be a death investigator. I'm not a paramedic, I'm an EMT. But now my two best friends, Todd and Mikey, hey guys, they worked with me in EMS, and I actually finagled them to come over and work in Maricopa County with me for a while. And of course they've moved on. One is back in the fire service, and another is a school teacher now. But
very cool.
Yeah, they were both paramedics and just phenomenal. So
cool.
Yeah, with that background, that will, I mean, take you past a lot of training that needs to be.
Okay.
And I'm sure Danny agrees with me.
So where does somebody go to find, if somebody was interested specifically in the world of Oklahoma, I mean, where do they find these job openings?
Yeah, so right now we don't have any openings.
Okay.
And I think when we're talking about shortage, this is not just an Oklahoma thing. This is kind of a nationwide type deal. But when we do hire, just go to the state website. I don't know if they have something that you could sign up for like certain jobs. You can click and then it'll email you when they open. But I do know on like my end, when we do have an opening, I'll send it out to ABMDI, SOMDI, and they'll post that.
Very cool. So you can maybe pluck some people from somewhere else that they know what they're doing already, and they may just want to move to Oklahoma, and it's a great place to live.
It is.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, it is. I asked you sometime at one time, I said, hey, why don't you just go, you can go anywhere. And he's like, no, I want to stay here. I like Oklahoma. So that's good. Does your daughter live here?
No, she's back in Arizona, and I think she's trying, her and her husband want to migrate to Nashville.
Oh, all right. Nice. Yeah, seriously. Don't click off of here when we get off this episode. I want to make sure that Danny, you guys have each other's information. And that's really good. Danny, you have anything, final thoughts or questions?
No, I was muted, I think, because some of that background may have been coming in, but no, I mean, this is so intriguing for me. I want to know more about it for sure. I can think of so many different things you can use for a drone as a death investigator, and to be able to share that information with other agencies too. It's just priceless.
It really is.
In fact, I think I have one case with Jason, it was or the serial killer case.
Well, I mean, I was a part of
yeah,
it. Yeah.
He had killed 3 people, but
yeah,
there was a clandestine grave. And
I mean, I helped. I was one of the very small group of detectives that were up to our elbows in stuff, getting
I
that
have proof
person
of
out of
that
there.
too, by the way.
Yeah. I love that. That's one thing I love about the ME's office is they don't have any problems with you throwing some gloves on and helping. And down, you know, when you're doing stuff like that with the anthropologists, and a shout out to Angela Berg and Kent Bueller. He's super too. And you guys just have a great staff, and you guys are all about teaching. And that's why I like taking people over to the ME's office, because they're always really good about explaining things. And
I love
it's just neat. Oh, I love going over there. It's cool. I still, I'm in my brain. I was kind of like a medical legal death investigator in my own brain a little bit. And so Danny and I, that's how I know Danny. Me and Danny have known each other for, man, it's close to 20 years. We trained at we trained at the ME's office in New York City 3 different times.
Oh, yeah. They used to have a program there.
Yes. It was a medical legal death investigation class. It was awesome.
Yeah, I never was able to go to it, but
we made it to 30. All of them, Jason and I did. One of the only 2 in the country. There are very few that did that, but we got to do it.
And the cool part was when they started, Philip, when they first started doing this, and we'll get off here in a quick minute because I'm sure people are getting antsy. But I'll tell you what, when we first started that program, or when we first started going there, they had Patricia Cromwell that was going to come in on a helicopter. They had an open bar in the ME's office. I'm not kidding you, man. It was an open bar. It was the food was a spread that was like 5-star.
Wow.
That was the first time. And then the second time we went, there was a lot of that cut out.
Yeah.
It was not the same.
Right.
But it was cool because we got to meet Dr. Hirsch. He was he was a legend in the world of forensic pathology. And actually I don't think you ever got to meet Dr. Snow, who is a world-renowned forensic anthropologist himself. And when Dr. Snow would be in the ME's office, you'd see him and he'd be standing over a body with like a cigarette with an ash like this big.
Yeah.
He was allowed. He was the only one allowed to do that, but there'd be beetles boiling out of these bodies, and he'd just be like, but he was always really good about teaching. And so I feel blessed to have been able to have met that guy. But I'm sure that Dr. Snow made it happen for me to be able to. It's a long story. I won't bore everybody with it. But I got rejected. I will say it real quick. I got rejected every step of the way for the ME's office training in New York City, and I don't take no easily. So me and Angela were out walking around looking for possible burial sites of a case that I had from way back. And she goes, if there's anything that me or Dr. Snow can do for you, she was like an understudy at that point. And I said, well, yeah, there is something you can do. You can have Dr. Snow call Dr. Hirsch in New York City and find out why I'm not in that class. And 2 days later, I was in the class. So
yeah, everybody knows Angela. And it was funny because I presented at this talks convention a couple months ago, and one of the presenters had brought up her name and said, I don't know if anybody here knows Angela Berg, and somebody shouted, everybody knows Angela. And she has a new partner now too. So we have 2 anthros out of the Tulsa office.
I know. And that's great.
Dr. Tim Gosha. Yeah.
I love it.
He's awesome. Yeah.
I love it.
Great work down there.
Hey, I may not be in homicide anymore here locally, but my heart is with what you guys do, and I'm still connected on a national level. So I love that, and maybe we might have to have you down in Texas to talk about this, the drone technology and so forth, as a presenter down the line. Anything else, Danny, that you can think of?
No, that's all. I'm just excited to be on here. Sorry I'm late again, and
no worries.
I've got a lot more questions. I'm going to talk to him about later.
Absolutely.
And this was a cool show. I just wish I could have been on here longer.
Well, he's somebody that I'm glad that you guys are meeting. I think it's great. I think it's great that you guys are now going to be knowing one another and have your numbers, etc. Philip, I can't thank you enough, buddy. And a matter of fact, if there's anything go ahead.
No, I was saying I can't thank you enough.
No, man, it's been great.
Really, to you. Thank you.
And as you should, Philip. And I appreciate that very much. No, I'm just messing with you. So listen, I'm really looking forward to sharing the stage with you here in the next over the next. We got 2 big presentations that we're going to be giving in the near future. It's going to be fun.
In California.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know when you're speaking on that. Are you speaking on the same day with me on that one too?
I don't know. I know
I hope
you're the keynote speaker, so it's like, oh man.
Yeah. I hope to dazzle. It'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited, and I owe it all to you, buddy. Philip, you're the one that made that happen, so thank you. I don't forget things like that. So, like I said, I do appreciate it. And I don't know that you've ever seen me speak. Have you even seen me speak? I can't remember.
You know what? I bought tickets to go down to that museum, Sheriff's Museum in Fort Smith.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to, but I had bought I think 4. I was going to take my parents and my nephew, because you have a lot of fans from my family and friends.
Cool.
And, so
well, I will be doing that again in Tulsa. So it'll be after it'll be 2027. And so I'll start advertising it, but I'll make sure that you know about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Episode number 97. This is what we're talking about here tonight with Philip Miller, the drone extraordinaire with the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. And he's a pioneer. He really is. And I'm not just kidding around here. The guy is a pioneer in the world of drone technology for medical examiners' offices. And that's something special. And I really applaud him for everything he's done on that.
Yeah. I appreciate when I hear I start thinking of other people around here that I work with, drone wise. But I appreciate that. I mean seriously, I want to go to, medical death investigation, but other stuff. There's people that I'm constantly, hey, I need help or direction and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you're selling. I mean, I'm telling you. You're going to be one of the people that they're going to talk about for a long, long time down the line. And when we're going to sit down, we're going to motivate you to write a little manual for people. Since you're the pioneer, you need to contribute to some books on how to operate that thing for death scenes. I see a chapter at a minimum.
Right.
Well, so I'm writing a paper to be published in a journal. And it's being co-authored by this girl, Michaela Escalisi. She's with RTI International. She's a forensic science, but she interned at our office, and that's how I met her. And man, she's just been a blessing. Literally, she's always wanted to, help push the drone stuff out there. And she's kind of stuck with me, through the ups and downs, because there's been times where, we haven't been able to make meetings and things like that. And I'm just like, oh, this girl's going to kill me. And, but she's just phenomenal. And so we're hoping to get something published. And,
well, not only there, but I think that you need to write an article, or at least share that article maybe with the Forensics Magazine, which is a free online forensics magazine that I think that they would snatch up that article in a heartbeat. And that needs to be put out there. And if I think of anything else, I'm certainly going to send it your way. All right. I think it's been an epic episode. Once again, episode number 97. And that's pretty crazy, and it's awesome. I want to thank Philip once again. I want to thank Danny for being here. You needed to be here. You're kind of like,
glad to be here.
Yeah, you're an old school medical death investigator, legal death investigator. He is. He's like an old guy in the business. This has been a good episode. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. It is not a show without you. Remember, follow me on my Detective Jason White Facebook page. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on everything. There's my TikTok. Click on that. Follow me there. Instagram. I really want you to go to my Facebook page. Tell your friends and family. Tell them to subscribe to my YouTube page, Detective Jason White. Remember, like and subscribe. It's a good thing, and we do a lot of good things like this by bringing people that make you smarter. And so I want to thank everybody. Everybody have a great week. And until then, take us out, Amanda.